Okay, so welcome to this presentation in Module 3. Here we'll be discussing Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and we'll also give a brief overview of what the remaining 8 presentations in Module 3 entails. So by way of introduction, all of us have unique needs and backgrounds, and we look different from each other. We have different cultural backgrounds, religion, age, social classes, financial status, occupation, interest, and family. We may speak different language. We have different values or thoughts on what is important to us. Now, what makes each of us the same? Each human being the same as the next is that we have the same basic physical and psychological needs. That is a must, a necessity for every individual to feel valued, to be able to thrive and survive in the world they are in, regardless of every other differences we may have. So this module will aim to explore the basic physical and psychological needs of human beings, called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And we also hope to look at how cultural influences plays out in people's behavior, in their values, and in their healthcare practices. In this same module, you would also gain some basic information about a variety of cultures and religions with whom you may find yourself working as a caregiver. And you would also learn a variety of communication skills to use in working with patients and how best to develop a positive working relationship with your patients. Still in this same module, we would also explore how to document observations and the work that you've done with your patients. And finally, you will learn about the different types of abuse that the patients may experience, the signs to look for, and how to report suspicions of abuse. And we would also discuss the importance of patients' rights and how best to support the rights of your patients as a caregiver. Now, Maslow's hierarchy of need, we all need oxygen. We all need food, we all need water, we all need sleep and safe shelter. And we also, those are basic physical needs. Psychologically, we have a need for social, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual accomplishment. And these needs may differ from one person to the other, but at the core, at the root, we all have these needs. Now, when these needs go unmet, we may react in different ways. Some people become depressed, some may become anxious, some may become afraid, some may even become angry and lash out at other people around them because that core need, either physically or psychologically, is not being met. When people become stressed, their physical health is also affected, and they may develop physical problems that could lead to illnesses. Without meeting basic human needs, a person can become unable to develop to their fullest potential. So your work as the caregiver is in a unique position of helping people that you work with to achieve these basic human, physical, and psychological needs. These individuals that you work with will need help to meet their physical, emotional, mental, social, and spiritual needs so that they can live life to the fullest potential. Abraham Maslow was a researcher of human behavior, and he developed Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this model shows us the importance of the physical and the psychological needs of humans. The needs are arranged in a hierarchy, which means they are arranged in order of importance. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is arranged in a pyramid made up of 5 levels. Made up of 5 levels, and they include physical need for safety and security, need for love and belonging, need for self-esteem, and need for self-actualization. So we explore what each of these levels mean and how you as the caregiver can help your patients achieve these needs at the various levels within the comfort of their own home, within any workspace you find yourself in. So this is the hierarchy. The very first primary need is the physical need for food, water, warmth, and rest. That's basic need. Then we then come to safety need, which is for security, a need to be safe and a need to be secure. Then we come to psychological needs, which is for belonging and needs and love needs. intimate relationships, family, friends. Then a need for self-esteem, a need to have prestige and a feeling of accomplishment. Then self-actualization is the hallmark of that need, because having checked the first four boxes, most people, everybody would want to have self-fulfillment, self-actualization, that is achieving one's fullest potential, which include ability to create. Creativity is at the core of self-actualization. So what are the physical needs? At the most basic level are our physical needs, and they include oxygen, food, basic activities, sleep, sex and elimination, ability to defecate, ability to urinate. These are basic needs that humans must have in order to be able to survive. Maslow believed that these needs must be met first before a person can go on to meet the next need, because someone who cannot eat, who is not able to eliminate, who is not able to sleep well, is not a very good candidate for relationships, friendships, and intimate belonging, intimate relationships, so to say. So the first basic need has to be met before the person can then go on to the next one, before going to self-actualization and the rest. So Maslow believes that these needs must be met first before a person can even go on to meet other needs, such as their psychological needs. And as a healthcare worker, you help patients meet these basic needs when you provide assistance with activities of daily living, like eating, drinking, toileting, bathing, and grooming. When you help a patient take their vital signs, when you supervise or oversee shopping and preparation of food for the patient, when you're able to measure your patient intake and output and document appropriately, you can help your patient meet these basic physical needs. Now, after meeting the basic physical needs, we come to safety and security. And this includes having a safe place to live and to feel safe and unafraid within the comfort of their own home or with the people around them. As a caregiver, you work within the patient's environment to make their homes as safe as possible. And this means that you will need to ensure that there are no hazards in the patient's home, such as clutter or loose ropes that can trip them very easily. Elderly people, I said the last time, they are at risk of falling, and a simple fall can result in some very serious fractures. Okay, so you also want to check to ensure that there are safety and grab bars that are secured to the wall so that they don't grab such bars and the bars come off and your patient falls or slips. Then even in the bathroom, you want to ensure there are non-slip top bags, because the bathroom floor that are tiled could be quite slippery and your patient is at risk of falling. In the bathroom, for a patient who is unable to stand unaided, it's best to have shower chairs, just to ensure that within their own home, your patient experiences safety and security. Then ensuring the patient's home is kept clean and free from dirt by completing tasks or overseeing that such tasks are completed. It's also important for safety and security. Then ensuring that patients would probably use assistive devices in cases where it's needed. Someone who cannot walk unaided will probably need walking canes, will need walkers to ensure their safety. Then helping patients to meet their safety needs would also include taking care to properly wash your own hand and wear gloves so that you prevent the spread of infection. People who are sick or who may not be as independent, usually they would feel some form of fear. So you want to ensure that you take the necessary precaution to prevent them from getting infected, or just entertaining unnecessary levels of anxiety and fear, just so they can feel safe and feel secured while you tend to their care. So here I have a picture of shower chair or bath chair. So the elderly patient you have or a disabled patient you have can comfortably sit on this while having their bath, and you can see the grab bar there just underneath the tap or the faucet. And this is an old woman holding the grab bar for support while walking within the house. This is a working frame that an elderly individual can use for someone who is unable to stand or walk without support. This will provide safety and reduce the chances of falls. And this is a non-slip bath rug that standing on this, the floor is not slippery. The chances of falling is much reduced. So now, need for love and belonging. Once people have their physical safety and security needs met, the need for love and belonging is the next important level in order for us to grow and flourish as humans. And this includes feeling that we are loved and cared for, even the way you communicate, the way you interact, the vibe you bring to your job allows your patients to know if they are loved or cared for. Humans need to feel important to other people. They shouldn't feel like they are a burden to you. And they need to feel that they are part of a family or a community. So the way you care for your patient will demonstrate to them that you care for them and you care about them. And this means you're being patient, you're being kind, you're being compassionate, you're being understanding, trustworthy. You accept the patient's thoughts, feelings, and uniqueness, even if you do not agree with them. Remember, you're there to care for them. You're not there to usurp or take over their life. So just having an unconditional positive regard for your patient is essential. Then you can also ask your patients to share their memories and stories, just to help the patient recognize the importance they have in other people's life. Family is an important part of a patient's life, and they help them meet their needs for love and belongings. We all have different views of what family means to us. So after a while of caring for a patient, your patient will begin to see you as family. And it's also important that you don't judge who your patient decides to make a family. Again, it's also not your place because, like we said earlier, everybody have different views of who they see as family. So you include the patient's family in their care if they wish for them to be involved. And here is a picture of a caregiver and a patient demonstrating love and belonging. And here's also another one. See the way the caregiver is looking so adoringly at our patient. So, still on the need for love and belonging, spirituality and religious practices may also be important to some patients' life. So, helping patients meet their spiritual and religious need may help them to cope with an illness or a disability. Remember that each of us have our own unique spiritual and religious views. So it's important not to judge the belief of others and to allow the patient to practice what they believe, even if you don't understand it, even if you don't support it. Please do not judge. You're there to care for them, like I said earlier, not to usurp their life. If a patient has a particular dietary restriction due to their religious belief, like Hindus may not eat meat, Muslims may not eat pork. As a caregiver, please make sure to accommodate these restrictions and also ensure that you allow your patient privacy to pray, to practice their religious rituals. And if they do have clergies who come over for visits, please do not be an hindrance. Just encourage such because everything is working in furtherance of your patient's well-being and of your patients enjoying a convenient, independent life as much as possible. So if asked to read some religious material, sit with your patient and read. Keep in mind you don't have to believe it to be able to read and offer care. So you don't have to believe their particular religion in order to be respectful and offer the support that your client will need. And there are several types of religion, just as a brief overview: Judaism, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Confucianism, Buddhism, Shintoism, Taoism, Sikhism, Baha'ism. Now, these are not the entire list of religion, but these are about the commonest one that you may encounter in your line of work. So, need for self-esteem. The need for self-esteem is the next level in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And self-esteem involves valuing and respecting oneself. Self-esteem comes from deep within us and from interactions and feedback from other people. Now, when people become sick, injured, or disabled, their self-esteem really may be badly injured. They may not be able to see themselves the way they used to. They may have concerns about their appearance or physical disability. They may feel that others do not see them as a whole person. So, as a caregiver, you can help your patient to accept physical changes by demonstrating acceptance. You accept them, then they begin to accept themselves. And this means that you watch for your body language while caring for patients. You don't carry the body language of your patient as a burden, or you're frustrated working with them. If such is the situation, you would need to do a personal pep talk, or you would request a transfer or find another job. But caregiving is a job that requires you to bring your heart, soul, and mind to the game. You can't just be there robotic. Eventually, your patient will sense it. And these are people who are already needing a lot of help. Okay, there may be situations where a patient has an injury or wound that may be difficult to look at. It's important to remember that your patients, know it or not, is watching for your reaction. So showing that you're okay with the patient's physical changes will tell your patient that they are accepted just the way they are. It's also important to treat each patient as a unique individual with talents and strengths. Sometimes people will forget that they still have value as a person when they are sick. So it is your place as the caregiver to remind them they are valuable by the way you carry on with your duties and activities. Okay? So you should get to know your patients to find out who they are as a person. There's a story before the sickness. There's a story before the old age. Okay? And understanding your patient will allow you to help them see how valued they are as a person. And you can also help to increase your patient's self-esteem by allowing them to be as independent as possible, providing encouragement when they are doing a task that they have difficulty with, and giving them praise when they are successful. Now, this is a picture of an elderly woman looking at her reflection in the mirror. And if you look at her face in details, you'll probably see a mix of emotions from sadness to a longing for the youth that is long gone. So now, need for self-actualization. The need for self-actualization is the highest level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this means that we try to be the best person that we can be and try to reach our full potential. We each have different views of what being the best person means, and without reaching our full, and what reaching our full potential means. As such, it is important to respect a person's thoughts and goals. The goal that we each set often will change throughout our lives, and many change as a result of experiencing an injury, illness, disability, or even aging. Because as some of your patients begin to age, some goals they set are just not achievable by virtue of age and the disability that comes with age. So as a caregiver, it's important to accept your clients the way they are. And you're also in a position to work with your patient to accept themselves and to set and work towards new goals. If the goal was to run a marathon and then you have a 78-year-old, chances are they will not be able to do that. If the new goal now is to walk around the block every day or 3 days a week, that's a new goal that is worth looking forward to. And I tell you, when your patient is able to achieve that, they feel a sense of self-actualization, which is what we're all aiming for at the end of the day. So it's important to remember that what your view as a good goal as a caregiver will be different from the goal that your patient wants. So being realistic in view of what resources the patient has at his or her disposal is essential to be able to set new goals. So using good communication skills is important to help your patient work towards realistic and achievable goals. Okay, and there ends our slide for today. Thank you for staying with me. Bye.